Hey, what's up, everybody? Today it's Friday, and that means we are a couple days away from the weekly close. And if Saturday and Sunday is anything like last week, then we better brace ourselves because that was one massive crash we had last Sunday. And hopefully, this weekend we don't have that type of aggressive selling. Although I do think we will have some more downside. The trick is not to break this low here, or if we do break it, it has to be very quick in recovering. So that's going to be what we're looking for this coming. Really, if we can survive until Monday or Tuesday without breaking this low, I'll feel pretty good about it. But yeah, it's kind of like, Saturday, Sunday is coming and there's a big storm upon us. Can we weather the weekend storm and hold the line? That's what really we need to be discussing today, right? All right, so the price is, kind of dwindling down like we thought it would be, right? You have this big sell off. This was just an automatic reaction, and now you're kind of just drizzling back down. So the question is, when's that going to stop? And is it going to take the low? And that I have no idea. We'll find out together. But the idea is for it to sort of round out, build a little bit of a base, because we're not building a base yet. We're just kind of flagging out. So if we can come back up to the top here and then maybe come back down to the bottom, that's really building a base, and that's what we want to see, something like that. Or this is going to come all the way down here to the bottom and then start working its way back up. So it's really not, it's really impossible to know exactly how it's going to play these little ranges. What's more, what's easier is kind of zooming out and looking at where we are. And where we are is right at, this sort of the support level that we've been in, um, for a long time. I mean, this goes all the way back July of 2022. So if you drag that all the way across, that's kind of where we are right now. So, $1.30 has been a critical area for Theta, right? So, it's all about holding this area. So if we can hold it and if we can establish a base and we can start breaking out of that base, then we're essentially cupping up, right? And we have this resistance, which is at about $3.30. So we need to go up $2 just to get back to the top of that resistance area. So I'm just looking at it as a range, bottom of the range, top of the range. And ranging is good, right? That's what we want. So we're going sideways, we mark up, and now we're going sideways, and now we want to mark up. So the important thing is not taking out this low. If you take out the low, then it just becomes like, well, now what? It could be like a Wyckoff pattern if we did take the low, but it would have to quickly reverse back, and then so it's one of those things. It's kind of, we have to wait and we have to try to figure out what it's doing. We're on a daily 7, so we should get an 8 today, Friday, and then a 9 should be tomorrow. And then Sunday should be the 9 close, right? So that's interesting how we're going to get a 9. So we'll get an 8 and then a 9 on Sunday. We'll see if it's a perfected 9. Like, for example, you could see this here, how it was orderly fashion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We had a 9 buy, kind of went down a little bit more, but then it continued higher. So yeah, this is just, we're just trying to find our footing here. We're trying to get this thing to slow down and to come back and maybe retest this downward resistance line, build a base, get breakout of that, break out of that, you know. So it's going to take some time down here. It could take several months. I don't know. You know, you could see here how we had a three-way pullback and we reversed on a dime and we just went straight up. So if we can reverse on a dime, that would be great. So, you know, we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. All right, let's keep looking. It's really nothing's changed. Bitcoin's kind of down. You can kind of see it's flagging out here. I don't like that daily candle. This is like a gravestone doji. It's not a good candle because it's basically, you can see how it's a bullish hammer candle when you flip it upside down. So not a good candle, not a good look. We're dumping right now. You could see this was a trap too, how it came up in three, boom, boom, it shot straight up, right to the red dots, bam, come right back down. So, you know, we have a big pump and usually it just drizzles, 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 drizzles all the way down. Sometimes it snags a low and then it comes back up. That's kind of how things play out. So it's just going to be about, you know, fingernail biting down here. Can we hold this level? That's going to be the big thing. We see, let's look at XRP here. XRP's coming down. Had a little bit of a, like a falling wedge. We broke out. We're kind of, you created a little bit of a base here. I don't know if that's going to hold or not. More than likely, we probably got to come back down here, you know, somewhere a little bit lower, you know, just to kind of rattle the market, make them doubt, you know. So, or this could be part of a bigger three-way move, and this is just a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like a some kind of flat, and then we start to work our way down, right, and then go back up. So it's kind of, we're at the beginnings of the bottoming process. Now the bottoming process is only intact if we hold the bottom, right? We got to hold the bottom, we got to hold it intact. So let's see if we can. You know, that's just going to be the big thing. The big thing for me is Monero had a big old dump. So if you want some cheap Monero, it's 196 now, 195. So yeah, we were talking about Monero, saying either this is 3 down, we got 3 up, and then we have 3 back down, right? And this is a 1, and this is a 2, and we're about to go. Obviously, that doesn't look like the case now. So the other idea that we talked about was 3. This whole thing was sort of a 3-way move up, and then now we're getting 3 down, right? So the whole thing is a flat. It's one giant flat here, which means we probably have more downside. Unfortunately, now that could be all the way down here, right? It could be a running flat, it could be a regular flat, or it could be an expanded flat. So I don't think it's going to be an expanded flat. I mean, but you just never know. The important thing for Monero is just to stay above the range that we broke out of, and that is from 173 up to 186. So there's your range, and essentially, you know, we broke out of the range, right? We back tested it, and then we retested it, but then we went up in this sort of weird corrective looking B wave, right? And those can either creep out or they slam down, right? So you have your A, your B, and now your C, right? And then you want to hold support in here and then break out. So this would be like a 1-2, right? So if you zoom out a little bit more, I mean, technically you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So you do have quite a bit of waves to the upside. Higher highs, higher lows. We've been trending up for a while. Since the basically Monero's been going up for over a year, and it's so hard to think about that. It started out at $99 and it's been going up, 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 up for a whole year, right? So maybe we just printed our fifth wave, like a, let me get this here, like a 1-2, right? 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe now we have to flag out in a big ABC, and that could take several months before breaking out. I mean, I'm just giving you some bearish ideas here. But what would make more sense to me is, you got like a 1-2, 1-2, and now now you have like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I don't like that as a fifth wave, but it does work because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This could be an A. We come up for a B, come down for a C, and then continue higher. So it's definitely got a lot of work to do now that it came on down. But the important thing is just staying above this zone here. If we could just stay above that and create a base, we'll be okay. So you could see a little bit of we came up here and we had this little shoulder here. You had a head and shoulders here. So that measured move takes you down to about right there. So let's see how that plays out. Let's look at the small time frames. You can see we had a big dump down here. Now it's kind of popping back up. Wow, that was a big drop there for Monero. I mean, we were at 216 and we dropped down like $20 in a matter of like 20 minutes. Let's see if we can hold this low here. Probably not. I mean, we're coming down pretty fast. So let's see what happened here. Okay, so it started out looking okay. We had this three-wave move down. We had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you would want to see like an ABC, but we didn't get that. What did we get? Well, we came down here and we started bottlenecking like this, right? We popped the high. It was like a liquidity graph for the shorts, and then bam, we just lights out. So I don't know. Is that a 1-2? I hope not. Could this be like a 1, 2, 3, and now we're about to get 4 and then 5? Right? I mean, yeah, it could make sense. And then you would have like a 3, and then a 3, and then a 5. So 3, 5, or 3, 3, 5, which is an ABC. That's one way you can interpret that. It's really hard to know because I want to see if we break the low. If we don't break the low, it could still be a 1-2. But that's just a really extended ABC. You could see right here A, B, and then extended C. But yeah, I'm definitely accumulating in these areas. So, and I doesn't take away anything from the big time frames. When you look at the big time frames, it still looks insanely bullish. You can see, like it's kind of hard to see, but let me just put that right there. you can definitely see we are um, consolidating above the highs, which is exactly what you want to do, right? So, when a price is in a range for so many years, not that long, it's 2.5, and then you break out and then you retest it, you kind of float around here for a little while. You're testing the waters, you're testing it, but we don't want to do it for too long. We want to start to break away sooner rather than later. Um, so yeah, let's see how that plays out. But yeah, nothing has changed from the bullish or from the long-term perspective for Monero. I'm still looking at this as a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, breakout, backtest, and then blast off. Just like here, we have a double bottom. Boom. Same thing here. You got a double bottom, right? And yeah, now it's all about getting back into the retracement levels. And that's all the way at 350 up to 400. So we definitely have our work cut out for us. But I think if everything holds steady, we'll do pretty good. So let's scout around here. Algorand. Algorand looks pretty interesting still, right? Obviously, we're looking at it at like kind of like a 1, 2, 3, and a 4, and then let's go up and get 5. You got like a gravestone doji, which is bearish. But yeah, it usually happens like that. You get this big crash, you get a gnarly wick, it gets bought up, and then it sort of drizzles its way down and day after day after day after day after day. Because remember, this happened within a couple days, but but the retest of the lows, that's where people really freak out because the amount of time it takes, it goes down, it could take up to a week or so just to get down here and then maybe just tap below it. And then, so it's kind of one of those things where it's all psychology, right? So, um, yeah, maybe we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, three-way pullback, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, that's how big it could be. And then, just drag out for a long time. And we've seen examples of this before, kind of like in Bitcoin when we look at, here's one example, but this one's more like up and then sideways, which is more bullish instead of up and then down, you know. Here's another example here where you come down, you make a little bit of a bounce, and then you just drag all the way down, and then you have these little liquidity grabs, a little bit of a double bottom, and then you start to go up. But then you get like this violent back test that comes later on, which it's kind of like a break, bull flag, breakout, back test, V bottom, whatever. So yeah, I mean, there's examples out there. You even have weird examples like this where you blast off. I mean, you bounce, right? And then you come down in 3, and then you kind of drizzle, 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 and then it's really like, well, what the hell is it doing, And you don't really know until some time has passed, and then you can kind of see that was the absolute low for Bitcoin. During the FTX and all that bear market stuff. Here's an example of continuation where you have a big crash, you have a big bounce, and then you do that same kind of flag here, and then you actually pop the high, and then have a retrace, and then lights out. So if we see something like that, then, we're going to be probably running for the hills. So There's different examples for different types of structure. But I think one of the most common ones is something like this, where you come down, you get like 3 up, and then you get 3 down, and then you start to march higher. Or here's even C19, where you drop down, you have this 3-way pullback, and then you start going higher. So anyways, that's kind of it. But where we are here, we're kind of like in distribution. I mean, this looks really bearish, honestly, for Bitcoin. Longer term, I mean. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think this has got to come back up and retrace. I don't think it's just gonna break the low. If it does, that's gonna be interesting. But I think it's probably just gonna bottom out here. It's gonna break out of this downward channel and then get back up here, and then most likely fail. And if we could break out, then it's probably going to be short-lived. So either way, I think Bitcoin's pretty much toast. But yeah, we still have this 3-way pullback, and then we got this impulse, and it looks like another 3-way pullback. So it's all about holding the lows. All right, well, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's not really helpful today, but look at SHIB. You kind of got an impulse. You got a 3-wave pullback, and now you're kind of going sideways in here. Let's see what happens. I wish I could be more helpful. I think this looks bearish. I think it's going to come down. It looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we have 5, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, we could get down somewhere around here, and it'll be a 5-wave move. And then look for 3 up, and then 5 down again, and then hopefully by then we'll be okay. ICP, yeah, you can see it's also kind of bearish. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe come down for 5. So it looks like there's more downside, definitely. Bitcoin dominance. Oh man, Bitcoin dominance looks bullish, which is not good. It's not good for altcoins. That looks bullish. Despite the wick, you came up here, you had this 3-way pullback, you're right here. It looks like it wants to break out, and then hopefully we get rejected somewhere around this wick. Hopefully it's just coming to retest some of that wick. That's a big wick there. So if you cut that wick in half, maybe we drag up here in a B wave and then start to come down. But what we don't want is this to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So looks like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we get one more for 5, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 A, 1, 2, 3 B, and then all of that will be C. And then we start to come down, like a big ABC here. So I think we already looked at Theta here, coming on down. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for everything. AVAX, same thing. I mean, this is do or die here. Let's see if we can hold this low, it'll be great. If not, then it looks like we're coming down pretty hard. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys, that'll do it. I'll catch you on the next one. Remember, this is not financial advice. I could be totally wrong. But anyways, I will catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.